So, Russell, how do you feel the year has started?
I've been quite encouraged by what I've seen so far this year, but particularly against the difficult economic background which we all must acknowledge we're facing at the moment. I've been spending quite a lot of time in the last few weeks visiting our branches, talking to my colleagues, just trying to assess the feel of the market, what's going on, and I'm quite pleased. One thing I have seen and heard, which I like very much, is quite a lot of noise. Noise is the phones ringing, people talking to people, people coming in to see us, and that's a sign of a good amount of activity. But we also keep a very close eye on some of the key indicators, for example the number of viewing appointments we're making for people, the number of new people who are coming to see us who are thinking of buying, the number of new people who want to see us thinking about selling their property. And those numbers are actually very encouraging at the moment. There's some good instructions coming onto the market, some good quality properties coming onto the market. There's quite a lot of buyers out there making offers now on the back of those viewing appointments. So far this year, I'm pleasantly pleased with where we are, but I'm not getting carried away. The amount of activity at the moment is probably not dissimilar to this time last year, which I think is probably as good as we could reasonably expect right now.
And what do you feel is happening to house prices?
I think at the moment the prices, it's a very interesting question. It's a question that a lot of people ask me as I go around and about, and perfectly reasonably. Broadly speaking, prices are, I think, holding fairly steady, but there are certain areas where there's probably an oversupply and there's still some pressure on those prices as a consequence. I think there's also very clear evidence of some properties coming onto the market which are, in my opinion, frankly, overpriced and don't fully reflect the market where we currently are. They might reflect where the market was 2 years, 3 years ago, but not necessarily today. So in terms of achieved prices, I think probably fairly flat, maybe slightly off over the coming months. In terms of some asking prices, I do think some vendors have got to be very careful about what they're doing in terms of their expectations. There's been an interesting report recently on Rightmove, which I would endorse, that in some areas the market is becoming quite stagnant because vendors' expectations or agents are leading people to think that higher prices are achievable, when in fact they're probably not.
And is the mortgage situation getting any easier?
I would say marginally, yes, for some buyers. The key area for the mortgage market, of course, is for first-time buyers or those with a relatively small deposit. I see some little movement there, but not a significant movement. We have to accept that with the traumatic events in the financial market in 2007, 2008, there's been a massive shift in the lenders' preparedness to lend the higher loan to values. So first-time buyers, especially younger couples, are having to use their imagination as to where they can source a bigger deposit. That often ends up at the bank of mum and dad, as we call it, or grandparents, family, friends. We're getting quite a few first-time buyers clubbing together, buying properties jointly, that sort of thing. So yes, there are more deals around, but I would say the overall credit criteria that people need to have are probably not significantly different today.
And what would you recommend to any buyers that are looking to get into the market at the moment?
I think the first thing you've got to do your homework. You've got to make sure that whatever you think you can buy, whatever price ranges you think you can go up to, you can actually do that. So I would say, critical for me, you start by getting some independent mortgage advice. As I mentioned before, there's quite a lot of deals out there, but you need to source a range of lenders rather than one particular lender. At Manning Stainton we have very good independent mortgage advisors in most of our offices who are happy to see people informally and have a chat. Do your homework, find out what deposit you're going to need, find out what sort of repayments you're going to be looking at, what sort of deals are available in the market at any one given time, and then at least you can go out and buy and looking to buy it with some confidence in the knowledge when you do find that dream house that you can actually buy it. There's nothing more frustrating than seeing a house that you really want but you can't buy.